Hello and happy. It is the New Year season as I sit here and record this. It's actually January 2nd, 2018, and I released this on January 3rd, but I want to wish you all a happy New Year season wherever you are actually, and that's sort of what this post is about. No matter where you are, you can start today fresh. If you didn't listen to my last two posts on ways to start your new year with style, I really recommend choosing a warrior word over resolution, and that allows you, no matter what time of year you're listening to this, to restart and bring yourself back to your intention of how you want to live your life. My word for this year is compassion, and I am planning on just pouring compassion on all parts of my life, looking at myself with compassion and where I can be more compassionate with myself when I'm making up my work schedule, or where I can be a compassionate mother, a compassionate partner, all sorts of things. I would love to hear your word of the year. I've heard from a lot of you. Best way to tell me is on my blog in the comments, or in one of the one of the Instagram posted, but you'd have to look back. So just add it on my blog comments from that blog in December. Anyhow, back to us. I am a certified life and wellness coach. I work with parents, and mostly moms, some lucky dads, to help them manage their mind so they can live a life that they love. And learning about my mind and how my thoughts work has brought me such freedom in my life. And I wanted to start this new year sort of revisiting the framework for what I use when I'm coaching. And if you're anything like me, you begin each year with aspirations of health and wellness, and there's nothing wrong with this. This is, if you're not taking care of your external body, your internal body will suffer. Looking at how we care for our physical health is a great way to start the new year. So while I don't support resolutions, because it sort of focuses on everything we're doing wrong, often when people are making resolutions, they're like, I will not eat as crappily as I did last year. But it's good to focus on, what we'd like to do right. It is a wonderful, no matter when in your life you can pause and reflect on what you're doing and how it's affecting you. I do support that. As a kid, I've always wanted to be healthy. I grew up in a house where my health was valued. We were taught about healthy foods and the importance of exercise. My parents taught us about the importance of eating fruits and vegetables instead of processed and packaged foods. They also lived what they preached, and they modeled a healthy lifestyle. My dad exercised most every day. I remember as a kid, he had a calendar, and he'd make little check marks on. He kept track of what he was doing, and whether he was playing a group tennis game or going for a run or doing some random weight routine in the basement, he showed me the importance of taking care of his body through his actions. And what I liked about what he did is he exercised to care for his body, not as a punishment to his body for maybe what he had eaten or drinking the night before, but because he had a body, he's like, yeah, well, I have a body, so I need to exercise that body. It was sort of just understood, and that helped me lead me into my lifelong. I attribute my love of running and outdoor exercise to my dad. My mom consistently cooked nightly meals with vegetables and proteins as a big part of them. Sweets and processed foods was very limited in our house and strongly discouraged. I attribute my love of fruit and green things to this upbringing. As I've touched on in other blogs, there were some not so grand messages portrayed to me around food, and I know most of you know that I had an eating disorder, as did my sisters, struggled with their eating. But in general, growing up, our house, health was really promoted, and a healthy lifestyle of exercise and eating well was promoted. Those were the two pieces that were going into it. As we start the new year, I would like to re-explain the framework for what I do, because it will help you improve your overall wellness. I am a mindfulness-based cognitive coach. I help clients feel more in control of their daily lives. How? By learning about yourself and what you're telling yourself. The most important work we all can do is to manage our mind. It does not matter if you have the job, the spouse, the house, the body, the kids, whatever you've always wanted. If your thoughts about those things are not aligned, you will not feel content. Your mind is the most important piece of your life, and you will get you'll get caught in the loop of striving and wishing for something in the future that may or may not ever arrive. When your minds are healthy, our bodies are healthy. It does not work in reverse. If your body's healthy, you can have a healthy mind, but it's not guaranteed. If your mind is healthy, everything else falls into place. You're eating, you're sleeping, everything. As I've grown, I've realized this tenfold, that eating and exercising are not the full picture. So while I grew up in a house, while healthy living was promoted, it really was exercise and eating, exercise and eating. And as I grew, that was not the full picture. I found that no matter how much I exercised or how healthy I ate, I still didn't feel the way I wanted to feel. My energy was dragging. My moods were low. I was reactive towards my kids. My life experiences led me to define wellness and to look at health in a bigger picture and to define it with 5 pillars. This post is about explaining those 5 pillars so that as you move through your strong and wonderful new year, you can note maybe one pillar might need to be tweaked or need a little bit of extra love and attention. So the 5 pillars, starting with one of the ones I've already mentioned, exercise. And exercise is all about how do you move your body? What do you want your body to be able to do for you? This is not about losing weight. This is about understanding your body and that your body is designed to move, and then following through on your commitment to your body to move it. Our bodies are not meant to be sedentary. If you want a life of mobility, you must live a mobile life. The next pillar is food, or fuel, I call it. What do you feed your body? What foods are you putting in your body? How does your body feel when you eat or drink those foods? Food and fuel, this pillar, it's all about looking and it's all about understanding the food that best fuels your body. All bodies are different and all bodies require different foods. So if your neighbor's on this amazing gluten-free program and it's working for her, that it might be the absolute worst thing for you. We need to understand our own bodies. Every body is different and every body reacts differently to foods. The third pillar is sleep. How much sleep do you get most nights? Do you go to bed around the same time and wake up around the same time? Most adults, and especially in this area, but most adults do not get enough sleep. Even those of us who watch what we eat and exercise regularly tend to skimp on sleep. This was me for many years. We use one of 2 main excuses, or what I hear as a coach. One, it is our me time. It's our time of the day, time at the end of the day when our kids and our spouse may be asleep and we get to do what we want. Or the other excuse I hear is that it's time to get everything done that we didn't get done during the day. We tell ourselves that the next day will be easier if we just stay up a little later and write that report or answer those emails now. These are harmful excuses and thoughts for different reasons. If you're using the first excuse, that nighttime is the only time that you get to do what you want to do, let's stop and ask yourself why you're choosing to spend the majority of your time, the majority of your days, doing things that you don't want to do. Okay, it's very important. I live like that, and so I get what you're doing, and that's something that we work on in coaching. But if you, in the end of the day, you have that thought that you're like, finally, it's me time, something needs to be tweaked in your day, and we can do that usually with some pretty easy things. If you're using the second approach, the second excuse that it's time to get those things done, you better get those things done so tomorrow's easier, that's when it's helpful to learn about your brain and how your brain is not as efficient at that time of night. Lack of sleep is one of the main reasons we gain weight as adults. It is something we need to prioritize as adults, and it just leads to, just get to bed. The fourth pillar is our, what I call connection or relationships. Who is close to you? How do you feel when you're around them? Who would you call if you were curled up on the floor crying? Who would you call if you were jumping up and down cheering? It is up to you to create these relationships. One person in a relationship can make a difference. I have seen marriages transform through the actions of one of the people in the relationships just changing, and it is crucial to look at the people who you surround yourself with in your life. They do They influence you more than you realize. They say the 5 people around you, you can average them. You'd be the average of their weight. You'd be the average of their bank account balances. Our finances are influenced by them, the way we eat, but also our thoughts. If you're around people that are constantly complaining, you're going to be complaining more. If you're around people that are constantly looking for the greatness in the day, you're going to be looking for the greatness in the day. So relationships are something that we spend time looking at as a coach and a coach relationship, and it's something I've really helped people with, and it brings quite a lot of freedom into lives to feel connected. And there is no I in wellness, there's an I in illness. There's a we in wellness, and the more we're not here to do this alone. Human beings are wired to connect, so we need to make sure that those connections are ones that are serving us. The 5th and final pillar is soul care. I used to call this self-care, but for me, that was easy to put off because I thought self-care meant bubble baths and pedicures, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm too busy for that. So soul care is deep work, and it is a critical piece of living a life that we love. We are all here on earth for a reason. You are here for a reason. Yet, sometimes through daily life and conditioning, our past family conditioning, and if you're a mother taking care of others, or a father taking care of others, we lose sight of who we are. Soul care is all about caring for that unique piece of you so that you feel alive in your days, and you know your life here on earth matters. It does. How do you know if you're taking care of your soul? Well, how do you feel most days? Strung out, resentful, bitter? Then you're not really taking care of your soul. There's some work there that we could do. Maybe you're taking care of pieces of it, but other pieces not so much. How do you learn how to take care of your soul? Well, we put on our detective hat and we start learning about ourselves. Start learning about yourself. What do you like to do? What do you do when you're feeling most energized and alive? What are you doing when you lose track of time? Do more of that, and not just after everyone goes to bed, and you'll be on the path to taking better care of this pillar. So each of the 5 pillars are crucial to your state of well-being. If we neglect even one pillar for too long, we will suffer. Our suffering will show up as weight gain, general malaise, or aches and pains around our body. If we neglect 2 pillars, our physical and mental health suffers, and we may wonder why we're always yelling or always reactive, or we even may go on an antidepressant. When we neglect 3, your body will reward you with showing you its dis-ease. Yep, this is when we get those autoimmune or cancer diagnoses. This is it. I got into coaching because in the middle of ending my high conflict marriage of 19 years, while still trying to be Superman and doing everything myself, I neglected at least 3 of my pillars, and I ended up in the ER. Even though I was exercising and eating well, my other 3 pillars were weak, and my body just said, Susie, enough. We are in dis-ease. I am a coach to help you so that it doesn't get to that point. I help people who are highly functioning in their life just tweak the little pillars, and I also help people who are really struggling. I'm passionate about the work I do because I live in a stressed, busy, strung. I lived in a stressed, busy, strung out way of life for the first part of my life. I did what others told me to do instead of what brought me joy. I took care of others' needs before my own, and well, I basically lived a life as if I was going for the Martyr of the Year award. I really did. I now work with women and men to help them manage their minds so that they can take care of their wellness pillars. As a mom, it took me a long time to realize that my doing everything for everyone else made me one crazy strung out mother. I can help you see how when you care for yourself, you actually are much better able to care for others. I'm a much better mother. I'm much closer to my children. I'm much more connected, and it's a true story. How we take care of our soul determines our ability to take care of others. The time to shift is now. If any of this is ringing true to you, pause and just try to think of which pillars are not getting the attention they deserve. Don't wait for a diagnosis or an extra prescription. There is help. I can help. I've helped many. There's help around you. If you, contact me. I can help you find other help. I'm just realizing I'm only wearing one earring. I I have released my perfectionist tendencies. I wonder how many people noticed that before now. Okay, through conscious living, we can care for ourselves in a way that won't overly deplete one pillar or the other. Start small. You can sign up for my 10-day conscious living cleanse today. It's less than a cost of a latte a day. Let me help you live a life that feels magically wonderful, free of the people-pleasing perfectionist that I used to be. I love my life. This year, Christmas, we were sitting around and my kids said, "This is the best Christmas yet." And that made me happy. I know another, one of my sons, another son, a different son also said he couldn't remember the last time I yelled at him. And I was like, I don't know which comment made me more happy, but I used to be in that reactive place and I am not. And focusing on my mind helped me get my, my 5 pillars of wellness back together. Let me help you. All right, warriors, go get them.